People in motion, all over the planet, crossing borders and creating lives in new cultures. What can we learn from those who have made the adjustment to living in the United States? Here are the voices of experience.
My imagination about USA was that there are many kinds of people who are living on the various values. You know, I thought each American pursue their own lives.
Before we came here, I thought United States is very big country, big people, big things. Everything is big. Yeah, and also here, United States have a big, big store of knowledge. A lot of things to be learned here. And when I came here, I found that it's true. It's exactly what I thought.
I was expecting to find, I imagine like a different world. I mean, even we are neighbor countries, I imagine something totally different. But I imagine for the movies, for the TV programs, that there is another reality here. But when I arrive here, I think there is not much different in the sense of houses, people, how the people live. It's the same way, kind of same way. I found here that the people is more, don't like to be close to each other. I mean, they put limitations between themselves and others. They try to say hello or something like that, but without compromise themselves. Kind of cold people, not very friendly or sincere.
You know that when I was in Vietnam, I thought that Americans are very cold. So, but when I came here, I found that I was wrong. Americans are very friendly, are very open and helpful.
The people in America, it's amazing cold with your friends, because in Brazil, in my country, all my friends, it's usually when you find a friend, you hug and you kiss, it's normal. And here everybody has their hands. Hi, how are you? Shake your hands. Oh, he said that. Raise a hand or shake your hand.
I thought that USA would be liberal, at the same time very dangerous, but I have found that USA has conservative view as well as liberal view, and I also found that some places are very safe, like Davis, and some places very dangerous and intimidating. It's like LA and New York. Yeah.
All freedom, and I really had it.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like freedom.
Yeah, but too much freedom is not good.
Freedom, independence,
and
women's right.
And everything big.
Everything is big,
yeah.
And it was true.
Everything works here. Everything works, If you, I can explain. 2 weeks ago, I've been in social security office to pick up my social security, and that girl that talked with me, she was amazing, friendly. I don't need to wait in a line and everything. She talked with me for 5 minutes, and she gave me my social security number. In Brazil, it's like 2 months, you need to wait 2 months. I think everything works.
What surprised me most is that direct speaking. I mean, Jap people don't speak directly. Jap people don't criticize other people directly. For example, let me give you an example. On the second, I'm staying with American family, and on the second day, I came here, and my host mother We are eating dinner, and the food was so nice. And my host mother suddenly said, "I have a complaint." What? Because food was so nice. I thought there was no space to criticize food. And host mother continued. This morning I get up, I found all the light on. Who left the light on? I was so surprised. It was just second day, So I thought, oh, did I do something bad? Did I do something bad? Oh, did I leave the light off? And my host brother explained, oh, no, his friend left the light off. But anyway, if I were host mother, I would say, everybody, please keep it in your mind. When you go to bed, you should turn off the light. Okay, like this, because we don't want to make problems. We don't want to make crash. We don't want to interrupt the good atmosphere.
I was surprised by the cars, the old cars. When I first came here, I went to my grandmother's house, and it is in LA. And when I went to my grandmother's house, I saw many almost broken cars. It was really surprised me.
They're organized and they work by laws. I mean, like the traffic laws. In Kuwait, if you put these laws, no one will work by them. But here, they abide by the law.
Time. About waiting. When I first came to the United States, which was in San Jose, I waited for a bus coming for 1 hour. I was very surprised. Bus can't be late so long. And the train can be late. It was very surprising for me because in Japan, the train never be late.
Yeah, in addition, banks in America sometimes make a mistake. Yeah.
What surprised me a lot is that Americans are so smiling. It is so pleasant to talk with them. That's what I saw here. And I saw the order in the streets, in buildings. That surprised me a lot.
I saw also San Francisco. It's the real American city. Reflects you the capitalism, the power of capitalism. Huge buildings, and a big amount of consumption in city. Luxury cars and a very luxury kind of living. You can just realize it when you go to big cities. I saw it.
Or I define them with the one word: individualist. They have a strong feeling of individualism. More, I don't know, people from many countries, but what I feel from the Americans is that they are very individualist.
I think typical Americans are talkative and easygoing and very funny.
I think typical Americans very friendly, but it is some I feel somewhat it's superficial. So, and I think typical Americans are all worried about the food, fat, and diet.
With blue eyes, hazel eyes, ring eyes, blonde hair, red hair, sometimes brown hair, and there's like to smile every time. They have I think good manners with the other persons. They are polite, but sorry for that, but they have bad manners in the table. Almost all Americans, I can tell, because my family, it's amazing conservative with the manners in the table, and I had a bad moments in the dining room. In the dining room.
A typical dressed in jeans and t-shirt with a chewing gum and what else?
CD player.
Yeah, put the hands on the table, not okay, the legs on the table, and say okay. That is American.
I think the main character here is, I think so, in my opinion, American citizen. It doesn't matter, Hispanic or Asian American or white. He's just proud of the citizenship, and he or she thinks the main land, main continent, and the world is America, and everything is going on in this continent, and the overseas, they are not so important.
I think there is no average American in the United States. There are many kind of Americans in the United States. Variety. The variety is American culture.
Well, I don't think that there's one typical American because there are people here of all different origins and backgrounds. So that would be more stereotypical. You would think of the European American with fair skin and whose family had been here for a couple hundred years. But Americans are also include other types of people who come here recently or of different origins too.
Yes, as you can see, we're both Americans, and we don't follow the normal stereotypical American. I'm an African American, and she's an Asian American. And basically, when you say typical, we actually wonder about that question because I wouldn't be considered a typical American, and she would not either.
I think I at the beginning just was surprised everything, but after the third week I start to miss my family, the way that we live in Mexico, very close, familiar, everybody eats together at lunchtime. Here is impossible, and I think the relationships with the people very close, and the food. And how I deal with that? Well, you can find here Mexican food, so it is not difficult for me to find it. And with the people, it's just learning another way to communicate with different people.
I'm so far from my family. I spent here about 2 weeks or 3 weeks without any contact with my family. It was very tough indeed.
Dealing with homesick, just take the phone, Mom, and speak for hours and hours, maybe.
Yeah, and make AT&T and MCI happy.
I have another way to do that. I go to my friend's house, have a talk with them, share ideas, exchange the cultures, for example.
Not drinking beer?
Yeah, sometimes drinking beer. Yeah, this is very good.
But this for you, for men, but for ladies, different.
Yeah, this is a very effective way.
When I got homesick, was that time, the end of the last year, I got sick, real sick, not homesick, and I couldn't move. And I was lying down for 5 days, and it was Christmas time, and then after that, the New Year was coming, and the New Year is the most biggest holiday in Japan, and then I had nothing to do on that day, New Year day. So I didn't do anything, and I missed my culture. I missed my New Year in Japan. And then what I did, like at that time I lived with host family, and after that I moved out to apartment, and I started to cook. And I started cook Japanese food, and it makes me better.
I think they're more stubborn. The Asian teachers are more stubborn, and
the American teachers more informal and casual.
Yeah.
Even the clothing, and
clothing.
the way of talking and the way of they act is more casual.
It's very uncommon in Korea, arguing with teacher. When we have discussion, even if we have discussion, it's like if teacher says something, then it's like kind of sentence. It's like that's it. It's the truth.
In Ukraine, for example, teachers much more official than in United States. When they come in, they don't say hi, how are you? They just say good morning. The topic of today's lesson is.
I mean, in Mexico, you expect that the teacher is certain stereotype of teacher, like the way that the teacher dress. I mean, it has to be formal, and they are talking very formal too. And here you can't expect to see a teacher with a t-shirt, with shorts, with sandals in the classroom. It's very, very strange. Even some of them with ponytails, it's like unbelievable. In Mexico, you never expect to have something like that. I mean, it has to be considered very, very important person to let the person teach like in that style, in that way. But here, the most valuable comparative is that it's not how the people looks, it's how the potential of the people to teach. So what is important is how the people can teach, what the people have in their mind, not how they look, because what they look didn't express what they know.
Creativity plays a very important role in development in the United States, in Vietnam, and I think in other Asian countries also we don't have such a creative spirit. For example, in school or in university, we learn many things we are very good at, but we don't try to push students to be creative.
In Brazil, the teacher has to teach. I think here, the teacher teach, but the student have to learn more by themselves.
American teacher have passion and very aggressive, like okay, let's go, students. Hey, come on, quick, like this. Hey, what do you think? Like this. Yeah, but on the other hand, Japanese teacher, where okay, please open the page, So everybody write down like this. So slow, and I think American teacher ask many questions to students. Yeah, I like that point.
I think to be successful in American classrooms, there are those who are more interactive and more inquisitive, more challenging, and more outgoing. Yeah, that's it. It's hardworking attitude.
Yeah. I think the attitude is very important.
Positive.
Positive and participate. Like, don't wait if you want to say something. Just say it. Don't wait if you want to express something. Just express.
Yeah. Don't hesitate,
Don't
to
hesitate
express
yeah.
our.
If you hesitate,
Yeah.
you lose your opportunities too.
Everyone who wants to participate in the conversation can join the conversation. But if I keep silence, nobody take care of me. Yeah, in Japanese class, the teacher points out students, and so easy for students to speak out. Yeah, I had a difficult time so far. Yeah, because in the classes, yeah, I'm taking discussion class, and the teacher didn't point at me, and other students didn't take care of me. So I was sitting behind, and I kept silence. I had no chance to speak. So I think yeah, I have to speak out.
In an American classroom, I would say that you must be assertive and outspoken. Even if you have to raise your hand before you speak, it is basically a fundamental premise that you speak in class and that you participate. If you have trouble, then you would always go to the teacher, and that is always an available resource that you should take.
And individuality is also very important. To have your own ideas and be able to express them in any type of classroom situation is also important for being successful in the classroom.
It's just to try to cook something because, well, usually I don't cook at home, and I can't cook. Truly speaking, I can't cook. Like right now, all I do is a survival cooking now at home because I must do it by myself. I must prepare it by myself. If I don't do it, well, nobody will do it for me. So that's, I think, the most important thing I can talk about that.
I don't know how to say, but when I live in America, I found that the men and women are equal to do the houseworks, and this surprised me. But anyway, I had to adapt to this culture because I'm going to live here a very long time. So for myself, I adapt quickly to the situation that I try to do housework, do the dishes, and try to cook, for example, very quickly.
I think here I had to learn that no means no, yes means yes, maybe
The
means
Brazilian
maybe.
way.
I have to participate in the conversation quickly. Yeah, I needed to time to think about what I will say, but my American friends don't wait for me speaking out. So I have to think quickly and I have to respond quickly. That's the most difficult thing for me right now. Yeah, sometimes I feel frustration with myself.
I think the most difficult thing was to handle the way, the individual way of being for the Americans, because sometimes we're kind of warm. We're always trying to help and to always trying to get friends, make friends, and so it's we make favors and to try to get closer. And the Americans, they are not like that. And so sometimes we feel disappointed or shy about that. That's one of the biggest adjustment I had to understand that they are not well, they don't try to keep to stay far from us. They just, that's the way they are.
Culture shocks mean to be something that I didn't expect or contradictory to the ways I thought before.
The public showing of the relationship between man and woman, or many public showings. Like, for example, when I first arrived here, I saw half-naked man in the gas station. I was so surprised. I was like, how can he walk in the public space like that? So when I saw the movie, American movie in Korea, I didn't realize that because it was movie, but the same situation in the movie was happening on the public space. So it was so surprised me. That was culture shock, yeah.
That's why it's shocking sometimes, like going to the beach. Like yesterday, we went to Lake Tahoe to enjoy the beach. I mean the lake, and we had a lot of problem because there are a lot of women going out half naked, and we don't agree with that. I mean, so it's not like
because
their freedom is good. It's not making us have a good time.
Every day I face many kinds of values, like gays and lesbians, and last week one gay and two lesbians came to the class, and they explained why they become homosexuals. I can't believe that. I couldn't believe that because in Japan, gays and lesbians don't appear in the public.
Okay, I have something that scared me. I saw a lot of huge persons, Wow, this is scaring me. I hate because, I told you, I love to work out, I love to take care about my body. And everybody in America talk with fat-free, no fat, health choice and everything. And everybody's huge. It's amazing.
Culture shock goes through several phases. At first, when you first arrive in America, you're very excited, everything's very new and interesting, and you're really happy to be here and to try new things. And then after a while, sometimes you start to feel resentment or anger because you feel like you're not being understood and you don't understand other Americans. And then with more time, as you learn the different cultural differences and are able to deal with them, then things get much better.
People carry guns, and the violence in movie or in life, it's not so strange here. People just get used to these facts and they live together with these facts. They just these are the parameters confused me during my life in USA, I think so.
I was shocked because I always watch the TLC and the Discovery Channel by, I think, Justice Files. They know this guy is a murderer and he killed 7 people. They keep him like 3 or 5 years in a jail, and every time the judge says something, he's a psycho, he's whatever. Why they didn't execute him, like kill him? Because if they kill him in front of people, maybe they feel scared not to do this mistake again.
I can mention one aspect which is the sexual harassment. Yeah, it's somewhat difficult for me to understand. According to my culture, or compared to my culture, this aspect of sexual harassment or harassment, as it's commonly pronounced, it's somewhat confusing. It's it's somewhat difficult to understand. However, it's a cultural problem. Well, I respect. Okay.
The relationship with the boyfriend and girlfriend is very confusing and it's very uncommon to me because in university towns, the many students leave his boyfriend, her boyfriend or his girlfriend. And in my country and in my cultural background, it is not common at all. So this is confusing things. Another thing is because their parents allows them to live together with a boyfriend or girlfriend before they get married. So this is confusing.
Actually, honestly, when my roommate was kissing in front of me, I was very uncomfortable. Like I was embarrassed. I didn't know how to deal with the situation. Just I rushed into my room. It was an uncomfortable situation.
And also when you walk out street, you see guy kiss a girl, like, oh no, it's bad.
Just close your eyes.
We in our religion, it's very forbidden.
I mean, if she's his wife, okay, but not in front of us. Or even going to a movie, you know, there are some scenes in movies. What can we do? We cannot just flip the door and forward it. You have to wait until
You know the problem? If you like flip your face, you feel another guy kissing his girlfriend. Like, okay.
Try diligently to build the language skill, improve language skill. This is very important. Yeah, I want to say that. And try very hard.
To keep in mind that there are probably other international students in that same setting or situation, and it just takes a little time to find them, but you're not alone.
Yeah, just from my own experience, I could advise them to practice cooking.
As for me, I would advise them to be patient, to understand this culture. We haven't the right to judge it. It's not bad, but it differs from us in some aspects.
I'm trying to find how the US is so successful in developing its technology. And I found that this is not the US itself to do developing its technology nowadays. There are many people who are very talented from around the world are here, and these people are the main source of pushing the technology development. So I'm going to say about the human resource management strategy, and this is what I learned from here so far, and I will bring this to Vietnam to tell them that the human resources is very important.
I think generally speaking, Japanese people don't want to take position clearly. Like we Japanese want to go middle, you know. Like many Americans say, which do you like? It's a very difficult question for Japanese people. I like both. I want to go middle, you know. But I'm getting used to this kind of questions, and I came to answer clear yes or no, and I'll explain how I feel.
All my experience in the United States, it's within myself.
No. English.
Experience.
English
English.
is, yeah.
You know, like I've been here for 10 months, but I'm not satisfied with my English. You're gonna realize, you're gonna notice 1 year later. It's not enough to say my gift is English.
English is very variable.
I think it's knowing the differences between people and being able to accept those differences as what they are and as what I am. I think that's most valuable experience.
What are the most valuable experience I got is that capacity to change, to renew, and that's something that I'm trying to do, and that's why the most valuable, and I want to give that to my children because they have to. I want them to understand that they will be always a chance to change.
We've heard from the voices of experience. Their gift to us is their willingness to change, their capacity to accept differences, and their humor in reinventing themselves as they enter a new culture.